a gazillion hormones. Hey y'all, it's Lindsey, and today is Wellness Wednesday, week 7. First things first, again, because we don't put last things first. That doesn't make sense. Anyway, first things first, the scale. Last week I weighed in at 144.2, and this morning I weighed in at 145.2. So I gained 1 pound, and I am up 1.6 pounds from my pre-pregnancy weight. And I got to thinking about what happened this week to cause that weight gain. First thing that came to mind was just like where my cycle falls. I'm not currently, I don't exhibit the fruits of a cycle right now. However, I do notice that my hormones are cyclical even through nursing, and typically on the back half. And I feel like I talked about this last week. The back half of my cycle is usually the time whenever I retain weight and hold on to more water. So that was definitely a factor for me this week. I also got to really thinking about it. Lauren has been sleeping very poorly here lately. She goes for about 45 to 90-minute stretches right now at night, and nap time is about 30 to 40 minutes, give or take, depending upon how loud the big girls are. So sleep has been kind of a hot commodity here, and it's a very expensive commodity in my home. And so I wrote down a few notes here, and I got to thinking weight loss and sleep are very closely connected. And let me take a step back. Jared and I have been on a very good, healthy sleep schedule for quite some time now. We go to bed around 10 o'clock and we wake up around 6 o'clock in the morning, and that works really nicely. Now, it's not perfect, right? There are times whenever we go to bed a little bit later and times whenever we wake up a little bit later, and that's okay. And it was a really awesome rhythm to be on, especially whenever we were pregnant with Lauren. And then Lauren was born, and things shift as they do whenever you add a baby. And none of my girls have ever been good quality sleepers and good length of, like, they don't have good sleep length, I guess is the way I'm trying to say that. Or duration maybe. So I always wind up with a sleep deficit whenever my children are not yet sleeping through the night. And Caitlin didn't sleep through the night till she was 3, and Molly didn't sleep through the night until she was 2.5. So I went like 5.5 years straight of not sleeping through the night. That's a pretty big sleep deficit. And then once Molly was around 2.5, she finally started sleeping through the night well, or at least better. And I was able to get into a much better sleep rhythm. And it did take a while to retrain myself to sleep better, but we worked on it, and Jared and I had a really good sleep schedule. Yes. So then we add Lauren, and, she was doing pretty all right there for a little while. She was going, 3 to 5 hours at night and then waking up like one longer stretch for about 3 to 5 hours, and then it would be every 2 to 3 hours after that she would wake up. And I felt like that was a really, really good sleep pattern. And then we got sick, and I think that changed her sleeping quite a lot. She's had this really, really ugly head cold sinus thing, and it's made sleep really difficult for her. It's difficult for anybody to sleep whenever their nose is completely plugged up and you've got like all of the drainage happening. It's not fun. So sleeping has been a tricky thing for our family. So I went through and I recognized the fact that we were getting poor sleep. And then I realized that I've been way hungrier here lately. Why am I way hungrier? Because I'm tired. Whenever you are sleep deprived, you've got a couple of hormones that are, you've got a gazillion hormones, but there are 2 specific hormones I wanted to talk about. They're leptin and ghrelin, and I've got some notes here. And ghrelin is the hunger-driving hormone. It tells you need to eat, and it increases your cravings for high carb and high fat foods, like very comfort food driven. And it also directs fat to your midsection. So I had noticed that pretty much most of my bloating and my weight felt like it was between right under my ribs through to my hip bones. So straight up in my gut. And it also, it's just been feeling just very, very bloated and tight. And I've been really hungry, and I've been on plan for Trim Healthy Mama, but I've been eating all crossovers. I have not been waiting 3 hours between meals. I haven't even been waiting 2 hours. I have literally been grazing all day on plan foods. And that's no good. That is really no good. And I've also recognized that I have been wanting more coffee because I like the mouthfeel of coffee over water, and drinking less water results in weight retention for me, water retention. So, what else? Leptin. Let's go back to the hormones. Leptin. It suppresses your appetite, and low sleep, like low volumes of sleep, suppress the production of leptin. And it makes you hungry. Like if you don't have enough leptin in your system, you're not going to feel satisfied, and you're going to have the ghrelin kind of go take over. It's kind of like a seesaw. You either have one or the other. So there were a bunch of studies done. They're all over the internet. There was one particular study. His name was Dr. Christian Benedict, I believe, and he was from Uppsala University in Sweden, and he went through and was doing sleep studies on people, and he recognized that these hormones were changing in people, and people who slept less were hungrier and less active and less capable of getting work done, and just less capable than people who did get solid sleep every night. And I think they were talking about less than 6 hours per night. And there was a study also, I can't remember the name of this study, but basically in adults that had less than 6 hours of sleep regularly, they were up to 25% more hungry. And when you sleep less than 6 hours per night for extended periods of time, you are 30% more likely to gain, you're 30% more likely to be up to 30% heavier than what your BMI should be. What else? So sleep is kind of a big deal. Like it's really big deal. And I know that we talk a lot about food and exercise in the health world. And there is a guy named Shawn Stevenson. He has a podcast called The Model Health Show. I will try to remember to put a link in the description box. But he is the first person that I really got to hearing about sleep and whatnot. And I've been listening to him, gosh, for 18 months maybe. His podcast is loaded with lots of fascinating information. And he wrote a book called Sleep Smarter. I haven't read that book yet, but I really would like to. All in due time. I can't read all the books all at once. So, but just gleaning information from his podcasts, he's got a lot of research and like actual published articles in medical journals that he researched and references. And sleep is so huge. It makes such a big difference. You can eat perfectly for your body, and you can exercise to the nth degree and still not lose weight. And the missing ingredient to it all is sleep. So that's where we're at with that. I need to have a little more grace for myself as far as the sleep situation is concerned. And I'm still well within like my comfort zone as far as weight is concerned. I just don't like the really taut, bloated feeling that I have whenever I haven't slept as well. And that was another thing that I had picked up on was your gut flora is like your healthy gut bacteria is suppressed whenever you don't get enough sleep as well. And your insulin resistance goes up. You are more resistant to insulin in your bloodstream when you have not slept well. And that correlates with intermittent fasting, which is a whole nother ballgame. That is a fascinating topic to me, but we're not going to talk about that right now. So, a few takeaways. I did gain a pound, and I'm okay with that. I need to have a little bit of grace for our current sleep situation because we have a 5-month-old baby. Well, I guess she's not quite 5 months, but, and number 3, I don't know what number 3 should be. I need to, because I know, number 3 should be this. I know I'm in a season of sleep deprivation. So I need to be more on top of my game whenever I have the ability to. So I need to be more consistent and diligent with food prep, with on-plan things. I need to be very diligent with making sure that I have on-plan treats because, like I said, the ghrelin makes you want to have high-carb, high-fat foods. And a lot of the Trim Healthy Mama desserts, especially the satisfying ones, they kind of give you that feel. I don't know what it is. It's just when you're eating a piece of cake that's Trim Healthy Mama-ified or THM-ified, you do feel like you're getting that treat. You do feel like you're getting something that is not good for you, but it really isn't a deterrent for your health. So having the food prep done, having the treats done, I need to just be very diligent in that. And also, being more intentional with my water and my Boost juice and my keto aid that I drink sometimes, and also hot tea. I feel like I get a similar mouthfeel from hot tea as I do from coffee. I do put cream in my coffee and I do not put anything in my hot tea, but I still feel like that warmth really makes a difference for me. Sorry, itchy. So those are my takeaways for this week so that I can be more intentional next week. And I don't feel like I was unintentional this week. I want to clarify that. I feel like I was pretty intentional this week and I was on plan the whole time. So I think that that's a positive thing. And I guess my encouragement to y'all is if you are following your plan to the letter, and you are working out and you are doing all the things that you know you're supposed to be doing, but nothing is changing or you don't feel as good as you once did, consider your sleep and consider trying to develop some different sleep habits that might improve your quality of sleep as well as your quantity. Yeah, that and hormones. Hormones are always the problem. So, thank you so much for watching. If you are a subscriber already, thank you for hanging around with me. I'm so impressed with myself. Like, that sounds really narcissistic. But I am. I'm impressed that I've been able to keep up Wellness Wednesday for the past 7 weeks. That's so exciting. And if you are a new viewer, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, check out some of my other Wellness Wednesday videos, and possibly some Trim Healthy Mama stuff because I really enjoy doing recipes for Trim Healthy Mama. And I hope that y'all have a good week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.